I would say that the Battlefront games are by far the most immersive Star Wars games. They put you right in the middle of a battlefield, especially in the Clone Wars era. I love those games to death. So when I heard about Contractors, the VR military game, and then I heard that the game has a full Clone Wars Battlefront mod, I knew I had to pick it up. And I've got to say, I'm glad I did. This game is fantastic. Now look, I'm not going to pretend that the actual VR elements are more immersive than Blade & Sorcery. I've played almost 600 hours of Blade & Sorcery. I know how it feels, and so when a bug happens, it doesn't really take me out of the experience. I know what to expect when it comes to Blade & Sorcery, and so I feel that immersion. And I think beyond that, Blade & Sorcery, as a sandbox single-player game, it has much more potential to capture that immersion, just because there aren't any server issues or menus or any of those types of things to worry about when it's a single-player only experience. However, what I didn't really account for was the immersion that just came from other players being around you. If you look in this clip from Contractors, I'm a clone trooper with Clone Wars era guns. I start to capture a command post, and then I see another trooper next to me, and we share this wonderful nod. I don't know, it felt so authentic and cinematic in a way, and that type of thing wouldn't happen in Blade & Sorcery. The AI just simply can't do things like that. Those little organic touches that come from a multiplayer game, and it definitely added so much to this experience. Charging forward with a group of other clones felt extremely cinematic and so satisfying. It, I think, captured my imagination and made me feel that immersion possibly more than I've ever really felt in VR. Now again, Blade & Sorcery, when it comes to physics, it just completely engrosses you. You know, everything around you moves exactly the way you'd expect, and you're not going to get that in a multiplayer game like Contractors. But the sheer cinematic value that you get from this game, it definitely is something that won't come from a single player experience. All of this is basically to say, I don't really think you can compare these two experiences. I'm not suddenly going to go from being a Blade & Sorcery YouTuber to becoming a Contractors YouTuber, but I had an immense amount of fun, and there are definitely some things in this game, or at least in this mod, that very much blew me away. The sheer amount of loadouts and customization you can have in this is kind of insane. I expected just to get the default, blaster for the clones and the separatists, but you actually get to pick a class. You get to pick what primary weapon to use in that class, and that can range from the default blaster to a big rifle. I saw some people using sniper rifles. I'm assuming you have to get a special unlock for that. The rotary blaster, the pistols, there are so many options, and also, interestingly, it was so well balanced. Every player I came across had a different loadout, and I think that was just because they all have their strengths and weaknesses. It all depends on your playstyle, and they all felt very different, but also very much not having a clear standout for one blaster that was better than the rest, because I think that is something a lot of shooters have. Everyone uses the same blaster or the same gun, in a Call of Duty game, because it's the best by far. Everyone knows it. This doesn't seem to have that, which is so impressive for something that is a mod. It's just, a small team of people doing this, and they're able to balance their game better than a lot of AAA studios manage to. Now, in terms of balance, the Jedi were ridiculously overpowered, but that feels a little bit by design. Again, it all comes down to immersion. I felt scared when I saw Anakin Skywalker running at me, because I knew that he could just instantly kill me. And yeah, they were damn unkillable, but that's exactly how they are in canon. You're not going to be a battle droid that's able to take down a Jedi. That's just not going to happen. You need to be a bit smarter than that. You need to group up. But I actually kind of liked how overpowered they were, just because of that immersion. But it definitely did, from a competitive aspect, break the game a little bit. Once you have a Jedi on the field, they're pretty much able just to ruin everyone. Unfortunately, I also don't have any gameplay of me playing as the Jedi characters right now. they are really hard to unlock. It has a battle point system just like Battlefront 2 from 2017, which is fantastic, but I am really bad at this game as I've only played an hour at time of recording, so I don't, I didn't have the chance to go on a massive kill spree and unlock one of these characters. So maybe in a future video I'll be able to show some of that gameplay. I do think I've been desensitized to this as well, because of Blade and Sorcery and how many hours I have in it, but every sound is perfect, the look of the blasters are perfect, everything looks and feels so good, and I think in a way the fact that I didn't notice is almost in this game's favor. It sounds odd, but I was truly immersed when I wasn't looking at these things as if they were game objects. I was just engrossed in the world. I found myself taking cover from incoming blaster fire, and it felt like I was under fire. I felt almost a bit of fear, but in a good way. It wasn't, obviously I wasn't, I wasn't not wanting to continue. It was adrenaline. It was amazing, and I have been getting that from other VR experiences. I'm not going to act like this is the first time I've ever experienced that, but the feeling was definitely different. This is the first time I've ever felt like I was on a true battlefield. Even in Blade and Sorcery, I don't think I ever feel like I'm in danger, and I think obviously that's partly because of the nature of my videos. It's meant to be a Jedi taking on the world, so of course, I'm focusing on making things look cinematic, and maybe that's why, because of all that experience I've had in Blade and Sorcery, and getting good enough at it that I don't feel in danger. I think jumping into a new Star Wars experience revamped that feeling of danger in me. But it doesn't feel like the type of thing that's going to go away. I think as I play this more, it's going to stick around, where I feel like I'm on a battlefield and I need to take cover from incoming fire that looks and sounds so good, but also so dangerous. The sizzling of the lasers as they hit the wall beside you. You feel it, and it feels really good. Now look, I feel very strange reviewing a game on the basis of a mod it has. It was the same strangeness I felt when I initially looked at Blade and Sorcery, and the fact that I wasn't really reviewing Blade and Sorcery, the game that a massive dev team has worked on. It's more so the mod, but of course they work in conjunction. So I'm going to go at it with the same attitude that I did last time and say that both Contractors, the base game, is a wonderful, wonderful military simulator. Every little game I've played of that was really fun. But then when I went into the Star Wars mod, obviously as a Star Wars fan and as the owner of a Star Wars channel, this was obviously my highlight, and it was really well done. I would say if you're a Star Wars fan and you love the Battlefront games and you want a VR experience to emulate that, I would say that this is the definitive way to do that. As great as all the other Star Wars games are, as great as the official ones are, as great as Blade and Sorcery is, if you want the Battlefront experience in VR, this is the way to go. So what do you guys think? Should I work on this more? Should I play this game more for you guys? Or should I just, stick with Blade and Sorcery, stay in my lane a little bit more? I'm very annoyed because recently I was working on a video that I deleted all the files of, so I have to start that again. So sorry about the delay on that one, but I should be getting back to my regular videos very soon. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.